Welcome to HRS TV. My name is Jessica Mullenix, and we are at beautiful San Diego HRS 2025. And I am excited to be joined by two pediatric electrophysiologists who are presenting today on different abstracts. You both have individual abstracts, but this is really a collaboration regarding the WPW registry. So I'm joined by Dr. Tan and Dr. Escudero. And Dr. Tan, can you start by telling us a little bit about what you're presenting?
Yeah, so what we're presenting on is the effect of isoprel during EP studies on our risk stratification of the WPW. So, the way we stratify someone as high risk for sudden death is doing the EP study, looking for certain measurements, and how we do it right now is all at baseline. And for us, we wanted to see, does isoprel make this better? Is it different data? And so that's basically what we're looking at.
And tell us quickly, what was your findings? Was it surprising?
So I don't think it was very surprising. What we found there were more high-risk pathways when we give isoprel. What we were trying to do is actually see if there should be a different cutoff when you give isoprel versus at baseline. That's something I think we have to do later on. But for now, what we did find is that isoprel definitely increases the detection of high-risk pathways. But there was no difference when we tried to correlate it with people who already had a life-threatening event.
Okay. Your study with WPW, what were you looking for?
So what we were looking at was children who had either non-persistent pre-excitation at baseline versus children who had persistent pre-excitation at baseline, and we compared their clinical and their electrophysiology study data.
And in the findings, was there anything that was surprising to you?
Oh, there's not a lot of study that's looked at the clinical variables for these children, and what we had found was that children who have non-persistent pre-excitation, and we only looked at children who were greater than 1 year of age, at the time of presentation or at the time of electrophysiology study. What we found was that they present more often with SVT, they present more often with fetal SVT, they require antiarrhythmics more often. It's even before having an electrophysiology study. So that's something that hadn't been documented before. And what we also found was at the time of electrophysiology study, we found data that corroborated a previous study that we had looked at that found that children who had non-persistent pre-excitation, they less frequently had high-risk accessory pathways, but they still had a significant portion of accessory pathways. So 17% of children, even though they would look low risk with their non-invasive risk stratification, did have high-risk accessory pathways.
So, we've learned with your registry, the scope of this registry, the collaboration, but in that quick summary, where do you think this data is taking us? What have we learned, and where is it taking our science?
Yeah, so I think that, the last guidelines for WPW were back in 2012. I think that with our new data, it might change how we actually look at this. Like in the current guidelines, we only go by, okay, if you are high risk, then you need an ablation. Whereas if you're not, then the recommendations are a little bit lower, but it doesn't quite differentiate. Did you give isoprel? Did you not give isoprel? So if you actually give isoprel, more people will reach that threshold to need an ablation. So I think that will change how we look at the guidelines.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. And especially with looking at the non-persistent pre-excitation at baseline, I think we do have to rethink of how we risk stratify those patients.
That's exciting news. So here at HRS, we're hearing about the phenomenal work done in collaboration with multiple centers and our pediatric population with WPW. Thank you for joining us.